Okay, Tiernan, we're catching up today in slightly different circumstances, but we're not living in overly usual times, I suppose. But this gives us a chance just to catch up on what this time has given you a chance to do, and maybe some of the challenges that it's presented to you as well. Could you give us a wee update first of all, just on how the players are getting on? I know you've been in regular contact with all of them.
Yeah, I think obviously it's a time in where there's huge frustration. The You have a bunch of athletes here who are professional footballers who are so used to being out on the grass on a daily basis, and burning up all kinds of energy, between pitch sessions and gym sessions, and I think they're hugely frustrated that they can't get out and do all the things that they want to do.
Sure. And how have you gone about as a staff, planning for their sort of individual programs and what they have been doing during this time?
Some of the players are even going and getting personal trainers and people to help them push them to the next level or do the things that maybe they wouldn't be able to do on their own. And I think it's hugely important to commend the players for the types of things that they're doing during this period, because we're all human, and it's easy to fall into that trap of I'll not do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll give it a miss today and I'll catch up tomorrow, I'll do more. But great credit to our boys, and I say this day in, day out, week in, week out. Um, they're not only doing what they're being given off Mick, but they're also pushing to the next level.
Yeah. And as I said at the start, we live in uncertain times. Nobody knows how long this is going to last for or might last for. How do you try? How do you attempt to keep the morale up with the players? I know you've been in contact with them individually, but maybe just give us an insight into how you go about that side of things, not just the fitness, but everything else.
I think in all of it, we're no different from everybody else in society, and it's, as you rightly said, it's really strange times. There's circumstances that we're not used to. But I think the one thing that we have to ensure above all else is that we remain positive, and this won't last forever, and we have to be very focused on where we need to go whenever the time comes. And I think from our end, that the big thing at this stage is, as you said, after the training, is continuing to communicate and continuing to talk. So we have set up little groups and little pods that we dial in, and we have conversations, and sometimes they're not even about football, which is a bit strange at times, but they're just about how people are getting on, and the difficulties that they're having, the things that they're doing as families. And it's actually, in every part of adversity, there's always a silver lining, and you're getting to know people a little bit better, and the everyday rigors of football and preparing for games. A lot of it is very selfish on a lot of occasions, where you just want the result at the end of it. This has obviously been a good opportunity for us to take a little step back from that, and actually talk as a team and as individuals, and find out a little bit more about people and their personalities.
Sure. And what about yourself as a coaching staff? Yourself, Seamus, Tim, and Al, and everybody else. How have you managed, and how are you getting on during this time?
I actually just read something yesterday, Ian, where it said both the Empire State Building and the Golden Gate Bridge were built during the Great Depression. So we're actually in the process of trying to build a whole new game model. And there's a huge amount of work and time and effort that goes into it, and breaking it down. And had it not been for this period, you would never have had the time to do this kind of stuff, and especially putting the attention to detail into it that needs to go into it. And again, as I say, there's been huge frustration, because we knew coming into this season that it was going to be a really difficult season. We knew very much that we were on a journey here, and it was going to take a little bit of time to get the players to adjust to how we wanted to play, and get the players to get their fitness levels to play the type of game that we wanted to play at, the tempo we wanted to play it at. And I think the results in the last 5 games or 6 games, whatever it may be, we really showed that we were starting to find our feet. But as I say, that's where it left off for us, and there's huge positives in that, and we have to keep those positives going into the next stage.
Yeah, and has it given you an opportunity to reflect on, the season so far? We're obviously sort of well through it, but has it given you a chance maybe to reflect on, where we've come from, where we are, where we're going, and all those sort of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I still have Super Sunday and I still have Monday Night Football. The only difference is it's Larn games, and we get I'm now getting to start to watch games and watch them in a little bit more detail and get to break them down a little bit, as I say, and the everyday rigors of football. It's week to week, and you don't probably get to spend as much time as you would like to breaking games down and understanding players and the types of things that we're trying to build. And this has given us an opportunity to really take a step back and look at the areas that we can still improve, look at the areas that we have improved greatly, and we need to keep pushing it. So yeah, I think if you even look back in the season to date, again, that word is probably a little bit of frustration, because we probably have drawn too many games, and had we have turned some of those draws into wins, we might be in a different position.
And you touched there on looking at the game model that affects sort of what you do day to day, day in, day out, and you hope maybe whenever football comes back, whenever training comes back, that the silver lining, as you say, you might be in a better place to kind of look at that going forward with the players.
Yeah, I think football, like most other professions, it changes a lot, and it's a matter of staying up with the times. And we're very clear about our vision for the club, and we're very clear about where we want to go as a club, and getting this opportunity to really reflect on what we've done to date, and look at the areas that we need to really improve, and look at the areas that we feel, being in the Irish League and what goes with Irish League football, we need to address certain areas, and this time has given us an opportunity to, as I say, identify them and start putting procedures in place that will help us challenge.
A lot of people have had their say in terms of what should happen when the season comes back, whether it be England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, European football, and all the rest. What would you like to see when the season does return, in terms of trying to finish the season, whenever that may be? What are your thoughts on
that? Again, everything at this stage, Ian's very much hindsight. I just want back on the grass. I just want back in front of the players and get working again, and get back to some form of normality. What that looks like, I'll go with, and this is only from a personal point of view, that I'll go with what's thrown at us. Obviously, the last number of weeks with regards games have put us kind of back into that mix again. We're sitting right now of 3 points off fifth place, and 9 points off second place, and so the league's all there to be played for. But if they tell me different, then I will accept what comes our way.
And I suppose there is a lot at stake. I know we kind of joke most Saturdays that you don't look at the league table and those sort of things, but we are within touching distance potentially of European football. So for ourselves, Glentoran, lots of other clubs, there's a lot at stake in terms of finishing the season and trying to get to that stage whenever it may be. There's a lot to play for.
Yeah, and I think being in isolation, I wasn't getting away with telling you that I haven't looked at the league table, Ian. Yeah, there's people often talk in football about that the business end of the season, and we're now coming into that business end of the season, and this is the part of the season where the players look forward to, the fans look forward to, and when you're still in and around that opportunity to potentially make European football, that excitement builds, and to take that away would probably be unfair. It would be difficult, and I think that knowing that it was still all there to play for would probably give us something to hang on to during this difficult period. I know from a player's perspective, to know that you're just getting into a brand new season mightn't have the same effect, especially if you're in that top six and you're in that mix. So as I say, I think that probably in all fairness that the season should be finished, but whether that happens or not, who am I to say?
Yeah. And outside of the football itself, is there anything you would like to see from government, footballing authorities, to really help us, get through this time, weather the storm? Lauren are obviously a full-time professional outfit, so we have a responsibility to employees. The landscape maybe is similar or slightly different for other clubs as well. But what would you like to see in an ideal world from the government?
I think you actually probably need to take a little step back and look at beyond football in this. And as a club, we work very hard to make this not just about football. And if you see the impact which you have that Larne Football Club have made on the wider community and Larne as a town over the last number of days, weeks, months and years, this town probably wouldn't survive without this football club. And simple things that players have got involved in and the football club have got involved in, it's extremely humbling, and it makes you very proud and privileged to be part of watching players going in and working with the elderly, and watching players going in and working with young people in schools, and the pride that they're taking in that, and getting involved in community groups and people of disadvantaged backgrounds. And I think the impact that's making, and the impact that the club has made on this town, it needs supported, and it needs supported by whether that's government, whether that's the Irish FA, by UEFA, whomever. We can't let this ball drop. We definitely need this to stay on top of this. We're also, as I said, we're only very early in our journey. We've still so much more that we want to do. So we need support.
Sure. And just finally, I know yourself and some of the family had recorded the video earlier in the week to emphasise that, the need to take advice and to stay at home. It's very pertinent for yourself and your family. Maybe just another opportunity to emphasise or re-emphasise that message.
Yeah, and I'm actually, as the reason that I wouldn't be one to normally get my family or involved in things like that, but this message is phenomenally important, and I know firsthand, because if I don't do the right things, that my family will suffer for it, and we would be one of the ones that would pay the penalty. So I just can't emphasize enough. My little girl's 6, and I watch how she jumps around the house at the moment, and to put her at a disadvantage because we can't wash our hands, or because we can't self-isolate, or because we decide that we want to go out in mass gatherings, it's not fair. And we need to stick together here as a society, and we need to come together as a society and help beat this virus.
Okay, thank you. Well, look, we really appreciate that update. I think it's fair to say everybody's missing football, everybody's missing being at Edinburgh Park every other Saturday, but it's good just to get a little insight into your work and the players and how everybody's sticking together. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian.